What's going on YouTube? This is Kaz. Welcome to the Perfumes by Genesis experience. It's so good to have you guys back on my channel again. Today is going to be a nice special treat. But before we begin, those of you who know or may not know, I usually like to start off all of my videos with a quick and simple prayer. Please feel free to skip ahead to the beginning of the video. I'll put a link in the description below. But for those of you staying for the prayer, let's go ahead and start. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for my viewers. Thank you so much for their lives. Thank you for this channel, Lord, and for this passion, and just for these joys, these simple pleasures. Being able to enjoy fragrance, being able to enjoy sense of smell. Lord, I just pray that you cover our viewers, cover their lives, that they may be safe during these times. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, guys. So today's video is going to be really cool. It's going to be featuring some samples that I got. They're all niche fragrances for the fall. I believe all of them are fall appropriate, and they're wonderful. Okay, so it's going to be several niche fragrances that are great for the fall. My wife and I walked into a store called Arielle Shoshana. Some of you may be familiar with it. And there is a shop here in Northern Virginia. It's actually the first niche fragrance store, to my knowledge, in the area. There's many, but I think it's like the first niche-centric shop. Wonderful place. The staff there, they're great. I'm actually tagged with my wife in a picture that they posted on their Instagram page. So definitely go check them out. You'll see us there. My fragrance that I featured there was Tokyo by, I think it's Gallivant Fragrances. I'll put a picture of the bottle here. And my wife's favorite fragrance that she picked out for the photo was Baccarat Rouge 540. Not a bad fragrance, but it just, I don't know, I never took to it real well, but whatever. So we're here, guys. Let's dive in. All right, so I have a box of fragrances here on the side. So I'm just gonna be showing the samples and we're gonna be opening them. They're dabbers, which is kind of unfortunate. So it's gonna be a lot of editing, just kind of cutting the opening process of these dabbers out. But anyway, first fragrance is called AO. I've been trying to find, hopefully you guys can see that in the camera. Hopefully you guys can see that, AO. And let's talk about what this smells like, all right? So what does AO smell like? So this is like a nice creamy burst of citrus opening, all right? And I'm gonna dip a little bit of the dabber because I did sample some of this on my skin. Yeah, so you're gonna get this nice transparent citrus blast that opens up with, and it has this creamy envelope around the whole thing. And it almost has like an earthy kind of green, let me not say earthy, but a fresh green undercurrent throughout all of this. It's a very uplifting, invigorating green vibe going on. So you're gonna get a burst of citrus, okay? It's very creamy. There might be some sandalwood in here making it creamy. Oh, but it's so nice. And the green note is a little sharp in there, but it just works perfect. So you get this nice citrus, you get this creaminess, and you get this nice kind of sharp green note, but it does well. Oh, and it's very cozy. Very, I wouldn't say this is warm, even though it works for fall. It's more of like a brisk, cool, invigorating experience. Really good for the fall, but I would also wear this for the summer. Again, guys, the representative wrote AO, so I'm not sure what house this is. So sorry for that, but AO. I'll get you guys the details later. All of this will be in the description. All right, the next fragrance, guys, we're gonna go through these pretty quickly. Next fragrance is called Palo Santo, all right? Palo Santo, hopefully you guys can see that there. All right, so this is actually one of my favorites out of all the fragrances we tried. Okay, this is great. So I think there's a milk note in here, okay? You're gonna get this nice, slightly boozy opening with this milk note kind of enveloping the whole thing. It might even be like a whiskey or bourbon type of vibe going on, but it's a little boozy and milky. So this creamy, boozy, milky fragrance. That's like the main way I can describe this fragrance. Palo Santo, guys, definitely try it out. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Again, I don't know the houses right off the bat. The representative wrote just the names of the fragrances. So I will literally, I'll hook you guys up. Okay, you'll see the pictures of the bottles. You'll see the names of the houses, all in the description across the screen. All right, but at the time of recording now, I only have the names of the fragrances and the samples. So Palo Santo, really amazing niche fragrance for the fall. Highly recommend, especially guys, if you like that boozy vibe going on, or if you like that milk, that kind of creamy milk vibe. You don't see too many milk notes, but the next fragrance is going to be Tokyo. All right, now Tokyo is a fragrance also by Gallivant. So I think the first one I talked about was AO. I think that's Gallivant, I'm not sure, but Tokyo is definitely one from them. And this is an interesting fragrance. I read a little bit about it, and it's supposed to be a contrast between the energetic vibe of Tokyo right now and also the old time Tokyo, or the, I don't want to say feudal period, but like, you know, the more traditional old school type of Tokyo, you know, where like people will have I think like maybe incense and like, you know, their homes or whatever, and then energetic Tokyo, which is like the smell of like the street vendors, and you know, more of like an urban meets rural type of Tokyo vibe going on in here. So you're gonna get a nice pop of yuzu, some nice sweetness. All right, I think there's some florals in there, some yuzu at the top, just really bright, and it also has this nice fruity juiciness to it. But what I love about this fragrance is, even though there's some bright, energetic yuzu, there might be some fruits in there, there might be some florals, it's really grounded with some nice incense at the bottom, some smokiness, okay, which is like, you know, the incense of, I guess, like, you know, maybe ancient Japanese culture, or maybe like some ancient Japanese temples or whatnot. But it's a very nice contrast. This is one of those fragrances that, you know, you can kind of see the artwork a lot more. And I like when people take the time to put art into their fragrances. So this is what, this is, to me, this is like art. I'm not saying that all the other fragrances are not art, but this is what this fragrance made me feel like when I first smelled it. And that's why I took a picture of it, or took a picture with it in the photo with my wife when I was at the shop. So Tokyo, definitely gotta get my hands on this like ASAP. All right, the next fragrance, guys, is called Poets of Berlin. This is also a really nice, creamy, soft vibe. I don't remember if it was boozy or not, but I did try this on my skin before. Poets of Berlin. By the way, Poets of Berlin is made by the same house of Morning Chest, if you guys are familiar with that fragrance. So, what does Poets of Berlin smell like? Ooh, so this is a lot deeper. It's not as boozy, but it's like a nice cream, okay? Like maybe like a buttercream, like a soft cream with maybe a hint of booziness in there, but it's much more balanced than what was the previous creamy fragrance I talked about, Palo Santo. It doesn't have as much of a milk note, but it's much more enjoyable to my nose than Palo Santo. I like this a little bit better. Yeah, and it's almost as if the sweetness and whatever the creaminess comes from, it has like this kind of uplifting fruit in there. And I really enjoy it. I think there's actually a little bit of smokiness in here too. Yeah, amazing. Amazing stuff. Now, these are just first impressions, guys. No notes right now, because, I mean, this video will be like forever, and it's already going long, so we're just gonna go through these. All right, we have Baccarat Rouge 540 EDP. I don't have to say much more about this fragrance. A lot of you probably heard about it, but we're gonna just talk about it real quick since I have it in front of me. My wife loves Baccarat Rouge. All right, we're gonna talk about the sample. Yeah, so I mean, to me, this smells like, you know, some cotton candy fruitiness. Not my type of fragrance. I love the woody, the you know, the lavenders or the deep woods. I love ouds. You know what I mean? tobacco. That's my type of vibe, you know. But my wife really enjoys amber, you know, the very sensual things, and there's a wonderful place for those fragrances for sure. And this is a nicely made fragrance. The cotton candy isn't as strong, but it has this nice, like, it's almost like I'm thinking of like a red candy gummy fruitiness to it, wrapped around cotton candy. But it has this nice maturity to the smell. It's sophisticated, it's refined. Yes, it's smooth. Definitely this fragrance will make you feel good if you spray it. I don't think that you can have a bad reaction to Baccarat Rouge 540 EDP. It's really nice stuff, guys. Next fragrance is called Inle. Now, the bottle for Inle is really cool. Again, you'll see it on the screen. And we both had picks. So the last fragrance, Baccarat Rouge EDP, that was one of her pick. This is another pick for my wife. And again, these are all great for the fall. So this is Inle, all right? This is one of my favorites on her. It has this nice balance. I think that's some nice balanced bergamot. It has the rose. I think there's like rose, maybe some other white florals, just kind of coming in after the opening. And this one is like the most velvety, silky texture to a fragrance. Okay, like Baccarat Rouge is a very like, you know, present type of floral. Present type of like candy fruitiness, you know, it's like obvious, like this is like kind of like a cotton candy fruit. But Inle is more of just like a pillowy, this pillowy sweetness, okay? Yeah, it's like a pillowy, sweet floral. It's like you're riding on a cloud, riding on a pink cloud of flowers. You know, and it's just amazing. Amazing stuff. Like, if a lady was wearing this, you would definitely want to ask her, like, hey, what is that? Or, you know, you would be intrigued. And guys, you know, if you have a partner, significant other, or wife, or whatnot, this is something you would want to smell on her. So I highly recommend, guys, that, you know, if you do have a special lady in your life, or even a sibling, you know, like a sister or something, she would love this gift. She would really appreciate it. I don't think you can hate this, you know. And if I was more daring, I would wear this myself, but I'm not there yet. But it's just so much about it. Like, there's some citrus facets in there, bergamot. I think maybe just some orange too. Really beautiful florals. I think some rose as well, but it's very airy, very transportive. It kind of relaxes you, okay? So it's called Inle. This is called Toi Toi Toi. Okay, Toi 3 times. All right. Now, what does Toi smell like? Now, this is another, I think it was a little boozy and very creamy. Now, if you notice a theme among a lot of these fall fragrances, they do have this boozy whiskey vibe. A few of them have had that already, and they have this milk note or this cream note. Okay, guys, so the camera cut out on me when I was talking about Toi 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 here, but it is an amazing fragrance. All right, and like I was saying, all of these fall winter fragrances have a nice milk note through them, and kind of like a little booziness going on. At least the ones that I picked out, they're a little bit more masculine appealing, but they are so nice, guys. So Toi 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 is making me realize I like it a lot more now that I'm smelling it again for the second time. But wonderful fragrance, okay, and it is a little woodier in the beginning as opposed to a lot of the previous fragrances, which are a little heavier on the booze and on the milky, kind of creamy side of things. Toi Toi Toi, I highly recommend. You'll notice that the bottle is very creative as well. So, Toi Toi Toi, and after Toi Toi Toi, we have, that's a tongue twister. We have Baccarat Rouge 540, Extrait Parfum. Same fragrance, but it's more present, okay? It's a little bit more bold, which is to be expected from an Extrait Parfum, which is just a deeper concentration of the oils. The fruity, candy nature of Baccarat Rouge is much more, it's much easier to pick out, and it just stands out a little bit more. Personally, I like it a little bit More than an EDP, but it's the same fragrance. Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait of Parfum. Alright guys, so I have an extra sample of Baccarat Rouge. I won't talk about that again. But here is what I think is kind of like the best for last. This is probably the most niche out of all the fragrances we've talked about. But it's Bowmakers by DS and DURGA. Get the camera to focus on that. Alright. So, Bowmakers. Let's talk about this, alright? If you guys go on the backstory for Bowmakers and kind of just read about this, it probably has one of the best stories that I've read throughout all these fragrances. And Bowmakers is what it implies, okay? It's supposed to take your mind on a journey, take your nose on a journey into the smells of a bow making shop, a woodworking shop, alright? Why would you want to smell like that?
Why would you want to smell like that?
Well, the way this fragrance does it, it mixes a lot of nice woods, some moss in there, I think there's some lavender, I think there's some fir resin, I think there's some oak moss in here too. And it mixes together to make a wonderful, woody, aromatic fragrance, okay? It has some fougere qualities as well. And it is just perfectly grounded. And it almost feels like there's some oud in here too. That's really nicely balanced, but it's very manly. It's like a man that's like fresh from the lumberyard or still working in the lumberyard, okay? The smell of sawdust, maybe the smell of the pine, maybe like a wood shop in the middle of a pine forest, okay? And that's kind of the vibe you'll get. It just has this uplifting brightness from like these fir resins, and the wood is like this grounding nature, okay? So you have this uplifting facet in there, and then it just gets grounded by wood throughout the whole thing. And it does have this pencil shaving vibe that kind of comes up throughout the day. But the weird thing is that pencil shavings, I mean, they smell like just, they just are. But you don't mind it with this fragrance, if that makes sense, okay? It's actually quite pleasant because of all the other things that are juxtaposed against it and kind of blending with it as well. So, Bowmakers is a very interesting fragrance, guys. Super niche, all right? DS and DURGA did a really nice job on this. Very woody, and I would say it's a masculine fragrance, but you wear whatever you want. So ladies, if you want to try it, go ahead, if you want a more woody take on things. And yeah, highly recommend you guys sample this before you buy. DS and DURGA fragrances are not cheap, so I wouldn't want you guys to be disappointed, because this is one of those fragrances that's more artistic, so everyone might not like this, but it's amazing in my opinion. Try it out, get yourself a sample. Well guys, thank you so much for sitting with me through all of that. It's been a wonderful experience just to have you guys with me on my channel again. Before you guys go, two things. First thing is my scent of the night is Bleu de Chanel. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm gonna go close to the camera so it can focus. All right. And this is the Parfum version. Really wonderful stuff. This is the 100 ml bottle. I love Bleu de Chanel Parfum. It is great for just work, for casual, for play, for just anything you can imagine. And it has a nice magnetic cap, but we're not here to talk about Bleu de Chanel right now, so this will be in an upcoming video. Stay tuned. All right, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, wonderful stuff. The second thing, I'm offering decants, guys. So yes, as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm offering decants in eBay and on Etsy. All right, so if you type in Perfumes by Genesis in either of these two platforms, you'll find my decant selection and my inventory. All of my decants are going to be 5 ml from my own personal collection, okay? All of my proceeds are gonna go back into the channel, go towards maybe new bottles to decant and review. So it's just gonna kind of, feed itself, and it'll allow me to make better quality content for you guys, getting better equipment, etc., etc. And it's fun just to share the stuff that I'm wearing, the stuff that I have with you guys. Little 5 ml atomizers. All of them are going to be labeled. I use plumber's tape to prevent any leakages. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So Looking forward to having you guys check that out and enjoying my selection there. What else did I want to tell y'all? That's pretty much it, man. I do have a Shopify that I'm kind of playing around with, so it might be like a full-on website where I can offer even more than just decants. But for now, you guys got it. And I will be offering 10 mLs upon request. And if you want like any of the the 5 mLs that I already have, just DM me. If you don't want to use like eBay or Etsy, we'll figure something out. But you can just hit me up Instagram at Perfumes by Genesis, and we can have a chat. Well, anyway, let me wrap this video up. It's so wonderful to have you guys here on my channel. It's been a wonderful experience just talking about all these wonderful niche samples that we got from this wonderful store. Look forward to hearing back from you guys and receiving some feedback in the comments. Let me know what your favorite fall or winter fragrance is right now that's in the niche category, or what your scent of the night was tonight, or scent of the day. So let me know. Let's discuss in the comments. And as always, take care. Stay blessed.